What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm Turbo John. You're on the Turbo John YouTube channel. We're down here at RJ's, Randy's Motorsports in Wilmington, North Carolina. He does paint and body work, works on cars. If y'all need anything, he's in the link in the description. Him and his guys is the ones that painted this hot rod back here and painted my car. It looks phenomenal. Go check him out. But we're working on his race car today. Check it out. Comment, like, and subscribe. Head on over to turbojohnracing.com if you want to buy some hats and t-shirts. Thanks. All right, boys. Well, it looks about the same. Randy, what you up to?
Living the dream.
Work. So what we've been doing, I haven't been recording any. We've been down here for a couple hours. And what we got done, let me show you real fast. It's pretty easy what we've got done. We talked about it last time. This is the Motion Raceworks, or the Rife back pressure sensor. We got us a nice Scarlet Solution sensor in there, 150 PSI. So this is the back pressure. We kind of got a little long on our, when we measured it last time. Know what happened. We knew that's where we were going to put it, and we knew that it was right there, but our math didn't math. But it might be okay, because by the time we can loop it around a little bit. Now we got it zippy tied on there, and then Randy's going to get it exactly where he wants it, and he's going to nut cert it on there, and then zippy tie all this up, and then we're going to be set. So we pulled turbo off, got all of our shavings out of the pipes down there. That did exactly like I wanted it to do. There was no shavings in the turbo at all. And if you remember, I packed the flutes on the tap with grease, and there was hardly any in the pipes, so just a couple there. So we got all this back on, so that's good. Something else we done is we went ahead and upgraded this line to a 3/8 hose. We had a 1/4 inch on it, and if you look at the instructions for the Pro Charger valve here, it says 3/8. Now it is necked down to a 1/8 inch down there where it goes in the intake. I'm going to insert the video clip here. Kevin, when we were on the dyno up there at Anderson Motorsports, he sent me, he was up kind of from the front view. I'm going to insert his video real fast, and you'll see this thing is very delayed opening. And think about it, you got all this volume right here that you got to suck the air out. So if that little teeny line is breathing through a little teeny straw, then it's going to react a little slower. But I mean, it was pretty obvious. We think we figured out the stick and throttle issue. Like I was saying, all we did is crack this open just a little bit, and I don't know exactly what was happening, but something was definitely happening where it was kind of hanging a little bit, but it didn't do it last time. So hopefully that is fixed. So we got this stuff all running. He's got to do some zippy ties to clean it all up. I've already got into Holly. Look, we got that cord run nice and neat. I think Devin and Austin, I think those guys will be very happy that I did not butcher this wiring up a ton. So basically what I did is I just come in here and we'll clean it up a little bit. But I went in here, and one of those, I don't even remember which one, it was in this one right here. This line right here is the one I just put in there. And so we'll just coil it up and get it all clean. But that is going to be the back pressure sensor. Basically what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish, is we talk about boost pressure to back pressure. And there's a lot of good videos on it, and I've talked about it several times. Essentially, in an ideal perfect world, if you had 40 pounds of boost, you would have 40 pounds of back pressure. And back pressure, you see we're measuring it in the turbine here. Some people I used to do it over here on the side, but the way this one is done, I mean, we could have tapped it over here on this side, but we just decided we were going to put it here on this side because it's going to stay a little bit out of the actual way. So it'll be down from the turbine blanket. I don't think it'll make any difference being from one side to the other side because it's a back pressure, right? So this wheel is spinning in here. The turbine wheel is spinning, and as it's spinning, it's backing up. Some people put them down in the pipes, but in order to put it in a header pipe or a crossover pipe, you have to make that a little bit thicker, because if you just tap it and then there's not enough, the pipe's not thick enough to handle the actual threads. It needs more thread engagement. So that's why most people just tap it right here into turbo. So that's the easiest thing to do. So we got all this back on. Back pressure, we're going to get a measure on it. Remember, if y'all remember when we were on the dyno, we were using more CO2 pressure than what we thought we should have been using. So anytime you're using more CO2 pressure than you're using, basically what we're trying to do at that point is make the wastegates shut. So if you got more back pressure pushing on it, then that could mean that you're starting to stop up, right? So we definitely were making a little bit more power, I think. I say definitely, and I think because we were on a different dyno from last time we dynoed. The last time we dynoed it, we were over at TKM's dyno. They have I think it's a dyno, and we were on a mainline hub dyno this time. So, you know, they're not apples to apples. No dyno is the same. Weather conditions, all that stuff plays into effect. So we got to get this thing to the track. I'm editing a video. We talk about this pushing. Next couple of days, you're going to see another video come out about exhaust pressure. It was wild looking at the dyno on how much pressure this was coming out of this pipe, and it was blowing stuff all over there, picking big gauge lines up and moving it all around based on the horsepower, how much horsepower is making. And horsepower is a function of how much air and fuel is burned and coming through the motor. So that kind of makes sense. So what we're going to do right now is I've got this hooked up. I got my sensor ground out of that plug. I got the 5-volt reference out of that plug. And I've already went in here and done this, but basically I went into the computer system and I've created another input. Very, very easy to do. Back pressure, 5 volts. And now I do a custom sensor on this when you're setting it up. Custom 5 volt. Use that format there, 1.2. But then the way you set this up, very simple, is 0 across the top and 150 up top. That's your actual sensor. And then for the scaling, it's a 0.5 volt is 0 and 4.5 volts is 150 pounds. And so got that all on there. So got this pulled up, and so you can see it's reading 0.2. I guess you could go in there and kind of tweak this some if you wanted to, but I don't know. 0.2 is not that big a deal. So what we're going to get Randy to do real quick is he's got the air compressor going, and so we're just going to verify this is working. He's going to hook his blower up to the hose, and then he's just going to kind of blow in this line. And obviously, like I said, this should read pressure. If it reads pressure, then we know we've got it plumbed right. We know we've got it wired correctly, and we're going to get back pressure. So let's do that real quick and see what we get. And so the next thing we want to work on, so the sensor, the map sensor on this thing, if you go into you got to go offline to do it, but you go into your sensors. So the map sensor here is a 7-bar map sensor. And you see we have an offset there. It's 0.00 psi. So I don't know if you remember or not, but when we were on the dyno, our boost pressure was reading different than dyno was. And let me show you why. It's because we did not come in here, and it's not off a ton, but it is off. So what Barrow is, this is on your Holly somewhere. I don't know where is that. Somewhere there is a little port. Right there it is. See the little port right there in between. So that is reading barometric pressure. So barometric pressure is what that is reading. So boost is based on that. So I've got this pulled up in the screen here so I can get the right on this chart. Is you can see they're got the same decimal point. If you don't have the same decimal point, like if you go down here, you can see map is just at 1.01 and then 1.101 kPa, and then the Barrow is 101.9. But that doesn't give you enough resolution. I don't know how to get the next point value over there. So if you pull it up here, then you're good. So this is where you have to do an offset. The goal is to make these two read about the same. So you got the 5-volt sensor, the map sensor. It's in kPa, so it is about 1 kPa low. So that's going to read lower boost, and that's what we were seeing. We were seeing about a pound difference. So the way you fix this, the way you adjust it, so let's go in there. You got to go offline, go back into sensors, map sensor, and we want to do offset. So let's just do 1 in there. So we're going to do 1 psi is what that. I don't know why it won't focus on it. But 1 psi is what I just put in there, and that's not going to be quite enough, but you have to send it. I ask you, do you want to send it or receive it? So you want to send it to the ECU. And I don't know if you have to turn this one on and off, cycling it to make it change or not. I can't remember. Okay, apparently not. So let's go back into our gauges. So bam, so we added 1 there. So now we're a lot closer. So we put 1 psi offset there. And so now we're a little bit closer. So let's go back in there and see if we can do it just a little bit better. So we can get a little bit cleaner, get it just a little bit closer. I don't know what is, it's never going to be perfect. So we just put 1.1. It's hard to see this through my phone, guys. So I just sent to 1.1. Now that might be too much. Let's see. Let's send it to the ECU. So this is map sensor scaling. So this is pretty important. I mean, what you can see, it was not a ton off before, but it was off a little bit. So let's see what we got. So now, that's pretty doggone close, guys. It's bouncing. I don't know why that one bounces and then the other one does not, but you see it 101.9, 101.6. It just flickers, looks like 102 for a flat second. But I think we're pretty close there. So we're going to leave it there. Might could go up to 1.2 and make it change just a little bit, but I think we're going to just leave it there. So that is pretty close. So that is how you calibrate a map sensor. So that is very important. All right, so Randy's going to blow in it real fast after he gets playing with the dog. The dog likes to be blown with air, apparently. Oh, he's going to eat it.
All right, quit.
He's going to eat it. Okay, so all we're trying to do here is see if back pressure goes up. If you can keep it kind of low pressure and just hold it kind of steady. You see it at 45 PSI, so that's pretty good. Go up a little bit. Okay, hold 80 PSI. Back pressure is working. All right, so that's good. That's all we needed to do there. So we just needed to check that out. All right, boys, well, that's going to wrap it up tonight. We are done. So we're going to make a quick punch list for Randy to get everything done in the next couple days. So hopefully next week, this weekend is not going to work out for us with testing. So he's got this week and this weekend to get everything finished up on this one. We're going to be testing my car this weekend, hopefully. And we'll be out testing hopefully next week with this thing. Hopefully. Sounds like a plan to me anyway. Either next week or next weekend. If we can find some private testing, I think that would definitely be a good thing.
So a few people, see if we can work it out.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find some. It depends on the weather. So, all right, guys, comment, like, and subscribe. See ya.